I like a lot of what Andrew Tate says, but him and like 90% of these well-known manosphere gurus, their absolute disregard for the law of chastity, their mockery of it, and their inability to explain why what they want is anything other than just evolutionary hedonism is almost just as bad as, not as bad as the big A industry that feminism promotes, but almost as bad.
The alpha male reaction to that has been, look at what they do to men. It's terrible, and you lose in these unfair custody battles. They take half of what you have. Yeah, it's horrible. They don't think we're even fully human in the way they treat us. Yeah, and we need to bring our power back. Yeah, that's why you should be able to cheat on your wife, and if she complains about it, you leave her. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Wow. You really...
They identify the problem and then provide the exact wrong solution.
I will match you the same level of darkness, but on the other side.
Just the most important question has been inspired by this episode for me.
What?
It is...
What color is your Bugatti?
Feminism has been, at least to a lot of people, is monetized whining on behalf of grifters to build a platform.
Ooh, uh-oh. I hate to say it, but... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Midnight Strike Through Mormons. I'm your host, Cardinellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by Kwaku L. and Brad Whitbeck. And Kwaku has not a theory, but a thesis. We're going to test his thesis today. He says the manosphere is the new feminism.
Absolutely.
I don't know how I feel about that one. Defend your thesis, my man.
Okay, so... when I say feminism, obviously we have to establish what we're talking about. I'm not talking about the,
Well, the Manosphere is fighting for the rights of women to vote.
Yeah, see, that's not happening. I'm not talking about the old school feminism that, all of our sisters benefited from. I'm talking about the new school, that like Gamergate 2016 onward feminism.
Like these cats? I see you pulled that up in the Discord.
Yeah, so the manosphere, though, is the exact same thing. I've noticed it is 100% the same thing. It is people in the most privileged country in the world whining that their lives are not as good because of a million external reasons, and the answer to it is to buy really silly products.
Oh, no.
Okay, I do agree there's one too many master classes sold by people who haven't quite achieved the peak of masculinity, which I believe is actually having, a family, a wife, responsibility, deeper
Cardin,
meaning.
you're just saying that because you're not an alpha.
Oh, no, I'm a sigma.
You didn't attend AlphaCon.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're wondering, Kwaku, what is AlphaCon? Pull it up, Cardin.
Okay, yeah. Well, I pulled it up before because I wasn't quite sure exactly what this image was. But for those of you who are just listening right now, you can check us out on hometownstation.com. You can also look us up on YouTube. But there's an image of a very... How would you describe this for our listeners, Brad?
That guy looks like a bull.
Like a bull.
That's the only way I can describe this man.
How do you say that? His name is the Bull. I'm not kidding. His name is Jeremiah the Bull Evans. That's his name. That's what he goes by.
Is he like just a bigger, whiter version of Andrew Tate?
Okay.
Or what?
Okay. Let me say one thing.
Because I got to tell you, well,
the picture itself for like anyone listening in, it evokes simultaneously in me two things. It makes me feel like I should be doing more push-ups right now, but at the same time. It's called AlphaCon, but they have the Greek letter lambda behind him.
Oh, that's true.
And I get that it looks like an A, but like...
It's an L.
It's an L. It's literally an L.
Yeah.
Like they're posting their L with LambdaCon, but they called it AlphaCon, I guess. So the be great or be nothing slogan underneath it is what's killing me. Like...
Yeah.
That's a really sad philosophy to have. Like
it is a little. It kind of denies the redemption of Jesus Christ, and at the same time,
blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, is the exact opposite of this.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, but how are you defining meek? And let me push back on your thesis now. Right now, I'll tell you right now. I think the Manosphere and AlphaCon gets dogged on by the legacy media because they are mortified of men getting the strength back that feminism stole from them. They have been shamed and they have been beaten down. They have been left out in the cold and they have been untaken care of, disrespected. Like, men are the most besmirched gender of the past 50 years. Okay. And they're finally fighting back, and the fighting back might get messy. I don't have a problem with them fighting back against feminism. I have a problem when they start going into the like, oh, you know, we should never have to settle down, and they start getting really like
materialistic
and degenerate once
and they just don't have the right answer. You know, when you're talking about there's some valid things that you're saying, that there's ways that where like toxic masculinity has been overused to the point that it's like, okay,
well,
is
there
all
no such
masculinity thing. Just toxic? Is that what you're really trying to say? And where I feel like this AlphaCon thing feels like they are leaning into what actually toxic masculinity is, maybe.
All right.
I don't know. Be great or be nothing feels toxic to me.
I'm about to disabuse you both of a false narrative. Okay, I'm using Cardin's phrase.
Okay.
First, AlphaCon took place in Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
Salt Lake City is right now a hub for alpha male influencer podcast. I cannot get on Instagram or TikTok without seeing a guy who made a bunch of money at knocking doors, doing a sales thing, trying to tell me now how to be an alpha. Now, you might be thinking, okay, look, you guys are dogging this guy. Look, he's jacked. And look at him. He's standing in front of a crowd of his concert, of AlphaCon. All those people came to see him.
I know too much about Photoshop.
I just found that background picture in 2 minutes.
It's on Canva,
put it on the
isn't
Discord. It's from unsplash.com.
Oh no!
I literally go to Discord.
And then that Greek border looking thing is actually on Canva as well. It's on there.
Oh,
pull it up,
no.
Garden. Pull it up.
So you want me to? What am I doing here?
Just open the Discord. I screenshot it so you could see where it's from.
Okay.
I found it in 35 seconds.
Oh no! This is okay for those who are just listening. The exact same background image that is the Manosphere AlphaCon image is indeed, I'm looking at it right now, this guy right here is also, if I'm not mistaken, this guy right here. Oof, rough stuff.
No, it went to the wrong one.
No, it didn't. That's the right one.
Oh,
Yeah,
they had his
same-
profile.
same image
Yeah,
right there.
it's the
Yeah,
exact
yeah.
same thing. So you have to ask, okay, what is the product? Because, there's nothing wrong with having some graphic design and pulling for some royalty-free images.
Yeah.
It's from a Christian rock concert.
Uh-huh.
So a Christian rock concert, because if you go, you'll see the LED screen is saying "All I am is yours" as their hands are up in the air worshiping. Took that, and he put himself in front of the audience of Christian worshipers with, instead of "All I am is yours," lyrics of humility,
Well, we
which
did the
trains
same
to
thing
be
on-
great or be nothing.
Okay, but we did
on,
the same thing on our thumbnails, steal images off the internet.
No,
I don't think
Quaker
that's
admitted that.
disingenuous.
None of this is
It's
bad.
the
It's
sheer
just-
contrast
It is
of those
hilarious.
messages.
It is, if I go, Cardin, understand, they got a picture from unsplash.com. Didn't
Okay.
really realize that the image was a picture of a Christian worship service in which they're singing about humility.
Oh,
They took
I
that
get it.
image. They put him in front of the worshipers. And where it says "All I am is yours" humility, it now says "Be great or, be nothing." You cannot tell me that is not the definition of poetic. That is hilarious. Again, it's not an indictment against him. It is just really funny. It's just really funny.
Yes.
Okay, so
this
let's.
guy's profile we put as well on. You can look it up.
Oh man, are we going to talk the philosophy of the Manosphere, or are we just dogging on this poor cat? It's pretty funny.
Well, we
though,
have to
so.
describe exactly what's happening in reality before we can actually talk about the Manosphere. Because
Okay, let's do it. So
this is Jeremiah the Bull.
this is the guy.
No, that's the muscle. That's another guy who spoke at AlphaCon. So there's the bull and there's the muscle.
Whoa!
I'm not kidding.
All right.
Okay. I don't know either of these guys in real life. They both seem like they're nice guys.
Okay.
Did you? Yeah, you have to open it up on but
okay.
as you're finding that, I'll just say this: the thing about the Manosphere is I have been following these guys for a year now.
Okay.
I when AlphaCon first dropped, it was getting so much media attention, and a bunch of like liberals in Utah were dogging on it, and I was like, you know what? He's creating controversy. It's not. He's not promoting anything like inherently like offensive. It's just kind of silly. So everyone's reaction was like, "This is kind of silly."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh no, this is a genius marketing move because he's getting free advertising." So I was like, you know what? It's smart.
Okay.
But I couldn't figure out what they were like selling. And to this day, I have no clue what it is.
Didn't they just get sued for fraud of some kind because literally no one knows what they're selling?
I have no clue.
That was something that I had heard.
I don't know.
Well, no. I see this all the time. Like you just showed me that one tweet that says, "I need one man who's already thriving in his life, at least in one area, that wants to thrive even harder." And basically has a bunch of money. It's always this weird pseudo life coaching, which is kind of like strangely, kind of like John DeLynn, like causing faith crises and then offering faith crisis services. You know, if you tell a dude he's not masculine enough, but you can help him become masculine, you know, like sometimes that could get a little bit dicey. But anyway, here's the profile I pulled up. And some of this I'm liking though. Like first off, he's obviously got game. You know,
yeah, he's got a beautiful wife.
He's got a beautiful wife. Then here, every loser can keep going when things are going right. Oh, wait. Every loser can keep going when things are going right. Oh, I get it. If those who get spit on, who get beaten to their knees, who are told that they aren't loved and don't belong, it's those who walk through hell itself and yet continue to rise who are the true champions. Like, okay, that's cool. This is some good positive
There's
messaging.
some good motivation stuff.
I can't help but think.
But I do have to point out this one. I do have to point out that one. If you're going to call it AlphaCon and you take the Greek letter that looks like an A, but is actually a what, Brad?
It's a lambda. In their defense, it is like it is a Spartan symbol. So like,
okay, but
they're kind of pulling for some Spartan vibes here. So like, you can go with it a little bit. But
okay,
dude, I found the article about their business complaints.
Really? Okay. Well, before you get into business complaints,
I just want to say this is what I have realized about the Manosphere.
Yeah,
I think it is. Well, I have this suspicion that these guys, when they put this stuff out about like, you got to work hard and be the best, it sounds like they're talking to themselves. It sounds like I'm witnessing public therapy.
Well, aren't people who have gotten over something themselves, such as mental illness, those that end up helping out those with mental illness,
but
and those that have gotten over alcoholism, those that have helped others in the AA.
But you can tell the difference when when you look at like I used to be depressed and I figured out how not to be, and here are some of the tips. It reads differently than a lot of these Manosphere things, where I can tell they're trying to motivate.
You're selling supplements because you decided to get shredded and ripped, and it worked for you. You've been working out like a dog, and you've seen results.
Do I call myself the bull? Do I dress up like a Spartan?
Maybe there's branding. There's branding elements, you know, like some personal branding to try to get people on your side, right?
But also remember, I'm still a hippie.
And get them to remember, because now people are not going to forget the bull.
But okay, yes, I understand. But thinking about this, I did supplements, okay, but that was a clear product. If you like to go to the gym, this could help. And that's the extent of it, okay? Events. Here is a ticket to fun thing. Buy ticket, enter fun thing.
There's a lot of men that have married really, really just nagging and let themselves go-y women, and they need to get their mojo back. And maybe this dude with his big Spartan outfit could like help them, you know, like
with
Stella got her groove back. But I don't know.
You see, Carden, you are right now trying to figure out in real time what he's selling, and you can't do it. And you're like, maybe it's about a guy whose marriage is falling, and that's why he's dressed like a Spartan. Because we have no clue. And this is not me targeting him specifically.
It seems like, okay, my guess, based on what I've seen so far, is that it's a business coaching sort of thing, right?
Okay.
Where
okay, I can
his
see that.
sales, he's selling success. Where he's like, if you pay me, you will become more successful. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of ways to quantify that. I've worked in advertising before and seen how difficult it can be to actually give a definition for like, okay, what is the growth potential like for your business in your niche, right? It's always going to be different for different businesses. So I understand, I can commiserate a little bit with this guy on like how it could be difficult to show what it is he's going to do for you.
Okay.
But also, can we talk about why is
Move the Spartan picture. It's too ridiculous.
No, well, the thing is, I still haven't gotten to finish my thought from like 5 minutes ago, and I wanted,
did we
I
cut
wanted
you
to
off?
ask Brad. No, it's fine.
I'm so
I
sorry.
want to ask Brad. Like, I actually really like this Spartan picture, and I think it's like totally epic. And you got to lean into the meme.
I love the sword.
Yeah, I love the sword. I
And
love the
drill.
shield. I love the hat. It looks like it's like the beaten steel or the beaten copper, you know, from the Bronze Age warriors. But you got to take down the giant cowboy bull longhorns right above.
But
or else
he
I'm
is
getting
the bull.
I'm getting conflicting vibes, like wild west, or is this like we are Sparta? You know?
Here's what he needs to do.
Okay, what?
He needs to add the bull horns to his Spartan helmet so that he just has the bull horns there.
so look, and I get it.
Incorporate it.
I get it. I'm kind of a hippie.
Okay.
But go to and look. I think those are scriptures.
yeah,
In the back. All right. I like it. Go to any of his reels on his
Okay.
profile, because you're gonna notice a certain personality type that these guys all replicate in their tone, in the way they
Okay.
speak, and even like the lighting style.
Okay, cool. Let's check it out.
Is
Here we
it-
are.
So that's the muscle.
Here's
kind
number
of an
one. Let's see
Andrew
what the
Tate
muscles
style
got to
thing?
say.
It's what we become. Why wouldn't we be more vigilant on that which we think about? Why wouldn't we spend more time investing into the greatest thing that we have, which is our mind, our thoughts? I firmly believe that we are the sum total of every
Yeah.
single thing that we think. And if that's the case, then we could think it and do it and become it. Why wouldn't we focus like a savage on those things that we cultivate in our mind?
Bro, this is all great stuff. What you dogging on, man? What
actually-
you dogging on?
Okay, I think what's happening here is I think you got the one that was not.
Yeah, because, I mean, focus on your mind. That's a good message.
You know, like, and I got to tell you, I think it's a little bit funny that he's got a golden skull on an Ebenezer Scrooge cane while simultaneously wearing a moisture wicking weightlifting jacket. Like, you know,
also,
that's
you're on the muscle. You're not on the bull. The muscle is the example of good manosphere.
oh, okay,
Oh.
there
you
we
have
go.
to be on the bull.
That would explain
So
it.
there is good manosphere.
Yeah,
is
we're
what you're
gonna
saying.
get to that, but we have to establish the silliness
Okay.
of,
So you want me to go here again?
yeah. So go off the picture and go to his reels.
Okay. Which one should I click on?
They're just about all the same.
Here's the first one. Whoa, look at that mullet. That is business in the front, party in the back. Oh man, here we go.
Entrepreneurs on this podcast, and it's just fascinating to talk to them about their stories and what they've been through. That's why I love the question to start this podcast, like, what's your story? Because that's what got you here.
Absolutely.
You know, it's you've been through that gets you here, right?
It is.
And so, good or bad, it's gonna get you somewhere.
Yep.
It's up to you to determine where that's gonna be, right? How it's
Absolutely.
gonna drive you. I've had a lot of big name entrepreneurs on this podcast.
Huh.
I don't know what was just said.
Well, I hate the word entrepreneur anymore. Like every broke as a joke dude I've ever known has called him an entrepreneur. And I get that you have to go through the Garden of Gethsemane before you make it to the Temple Mount. All right. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, it's like entrepreneur, I think, has been spread a little bit thin.
So play another one, and you'll notice
okay.
a theme here.
Okay. Let me see. Where's another one, dude? Let's go back to the beginning where we were and see if we can't get another one, because I'm kind of digging this. You know, I want to see more of the mullet, brother. The mullet. Here we
Do you
go.
know?
Fulfillment looks like. It looks like when you're healthy, especially with this big health movement. You know what will create more mental health than anything? Physical health.
Yeah.
Physical health will create more mental clarity than any pill, than any meditation you'll ever find. Let's be honest.
Okay, cool.
That's not bad.
That's not too bad.
Wait. Did he just juxtapose meditation and pills?
I don't know. I think your thesis is on shaky ground with these AlphaCon guys. They're batting 600 right now, bro.
He just said, let's be honest, physical health will create more mental health than pills or meditation. First, no one's putting up Eastern meditation against pills. Like, that's not like a thing you hear, like, are you
Okay.
going to go train with the yogis or are you going to take some Prozac? That's never a thing that anyone's presenting. Second, but you'll notice this is not anything worth paying for.
Okay. Well,
You know, like this is the alpha. This is the head of AlphaCon. This is the sacred information that's going to make me a successful businessman.
Okay, I wouldn't exactly call this anything Gnostic or sacred. To me, it kind of seems pretty run of the mill and generic.
Would
know
you
what I'm
pay
saying?
$2,000 for this?
What?
That's how much it is.
That was one of the biggest controversies of AlphaCon was how much it cost to get in.
No.
And so if you want to, you can pull up the article that I put in. Like,
Okay.
this guy's getting sued from dozens of clients that now say his companies cost them millions. Now,
What?
yeah. Now this he has a company called I think it's called Alpha Influence LLC. That's the one.
Okay.
And it's a coaching business, right? Again, this is a very difficult thing to determine
Yeah.
what's going on, because when they say he lost us millions, are they saying like, oh, we didn't earn as much as we thought was promised, or as we thought we would when we invested in this?
Yeah.
Or did it actually cost them money? It can be really hard to determine things like that. So here's an article.
Yeah,
about
here's the article. It says a year ago he taught Utahns to be, quote, alphas in business and life. Dozens of clients now say his companies cost them millions. Jeremiah the Bull Evans says attempt to change business model has not been successful. Ooh, I hate to say it, but I mean, Deseret News, I mean, they're not exactly a smear rag like, the Salt Lake Tribune or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And Utah does have a problem with getting taken advantage of. China is going in there and doing it for years. Multi-level marketing has thrived far further than it should have ever thrived. Emphasis on the thrive.
And for context, there are at least 73 people coming together to maybe put together a lawsuit.
Really?
Which is an awful lot of people to be doing something. And so, like,
Wow.
I don't know. It makes me wonder, because one of the things that we don't have here in this conversation.
Look at the related perspective. How a beta like me managed to get kicked out of AlphaCon. That's what it says. So
That's a great headline.
Related. That is
so-
funny.
In this conversation, we're missing the context of what the paid information is that you get, right?
Okay.
We're seeing the stuff on his Instagram, which includes the kind of things that Kwaku's like, this is everywhere. Like, why would you
Okay.
pay money for this? Which is totally fair. It's put out as this free content, though. Like, maybe there's something behind the paywall that's worthwhile, but this lawsuit would maybe suggest that there isn't.
The Holy of Holies is the true information of Jeremiah the Bull Evans revelation. It's truly.
Okay, now hold on. I
gotta
want you
get
to back.
past the paywall to.
I want you to back up your thesis here, because just because one guy tanked at a failed AlphaCon, I don't think necessarily means the man. Hold on, let me finish my thought. I don't think it necessarily means that the Manosphere are the new feminists, because I view feminism as the most wildly destructive thing that's happened to our nation in the past 50 years. Whereas the Manosphere, it's kind of rebirthing that it's okay to be a male, and they've debunked toxic masculinity and all that other stuff. It breaks my heart to see that AlphaCon failed, because we need men's empowerment right now.
Okay, Carden,
but I don't know if that makes the Manosphere a bunch of feminists.
If you're going to define feminism as the worst possible thing that anything could be, okay, so if I were to
No, that's a Democrat.
okay,
My God.
no, oh my gosh. So for you to say I consider feminism to be the worst thing to happen to Western civilization in the past 500 years, well, I mean, that's like, oh, do you like Wendy's or Burger King? I consider Burger King to be the food of the German army responsible for the death of 9 million people. Well, if you're going to define it as that, then I mean, like,
come on,
most
feminism
people
is-
don't define it that way.
Feminism has been the Trojan horse and the tip of the spear for every bad, home-wrecking idea, society-ruining idea.
I would say corporatism has, but I can see your point. But before this turns into a what is feminism debate,
Okay.
to stay on topic, what feminism has been, at least to a lot of people, is monetized whining on behalf of grifters to build a platform.
Okay.
So you remember, okay, and again, this is coming from a guy who did not play video games growing up. You couldn't have them in my house.
Okay.
But I remember seeing all the video game feminist stuff, right? Like in 2014, 2015, it was like these big headlines about how women felt like they were not being treated fairly in video game representation and such on, and then there were women in the Middle East that were like, "Oh, what I would give to be oppressed in America. Oh, how that sounds so great. Like the CGI figure of me has the boobs are too big. Mira's here. We're not allowed to drive without being." And so there was this like juxtaposition of, okay, yes, you may not. There's not this ideal golden age equality in the United States between the genders. However, in the United States, you have the most privileged background that you could have. Like you were sitting on literal gold. So when I look at the Manosphere, what I see are former sales bros and guys who got super rich early on who don't feel like they're getting the respect they deserve.
It's an
They feel
entitlement
like,
sort of thing.
I am the best. You should look at me the same as Tony Robbins. Don't you know? I own 5 gyms in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
That means I'm the shiz. It's like, who are you? Don't you know who I am? You respect me. It's like, what do you
Okay,
and in that way, with the entitlement and the not recognizing that your life is great, you have privilege, people don't really owe you this extra stuff. To me, it has the exact same perfume as modern feminism.
It's more of this attitude of ingratitude and never being satisfied in kind of an unhealthy way.
Yes.
That you think is the same.
But now they're monetizing it, right? So remember when UC Berkeley and the University of Utah and UCLA and all these schools would have these big feminism panels, right? And if you weren't a student, you had to pay to get in, and they would have all the top wonderful the people who wrote articles for BuzzFeed and all these great feminist leaders, and it was such a big thing, and the women would go and they'd feel empowered. And everyone's like, "Oh, this is so ridiculous." There are still Steven Crowder videos on YouTube of Steven Crowder dunking on how dumb these feminist conferences are. The Manosphere has the exact same thing.
It's the same energy.
It's the exact same thing.
The only reason why I'm a little bit reluctant to dunk on the Manosphere is because I feel it's in its infancy. Okay. I also feel that,
which is terrifying.
Which is well, no. I mean, I also feel that it's kind of like the pendulum has swung way too far, and my only real beef with the Manosphere and all that other stuff is actually how there's 2 types of it. There's the type that glorifies kind of like the Nordic meme of like, yes.
Yeah, the Chad thing.
The Chad Nordic meme where like, I will find my wife and I will have 4 children and I will be responsible with my bills. And it's a glorification of authentic masculinity, positive masculinity, good male role models, so on and so forth. And it empowers men and takes back the power that feminism shamed out of them through the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, right? That I actually think is good. Okay. But like, you do have a problem when you start getting into, I like a lot of what Andrew Tate says, but him and like 90% of these well-known Manosphere gurus, their absolute disregard for the law of chastity, their mockery of it, and their inability to explain why what they want is anything other than just evolutionary hedonism is almost just as bad not as bad as the big A industry that feminism promotes, but almost as bad.
Yeah, and I wonder if part of that feeds into things like this lawsuit. Like, did it come out of people like attracting clients where there will never be enough for them, right? So they're like, oh yeah, now I'm going to sue this guy because it still was not enough for me. You know that. What's the right word?
When you get a bunch of people in a room who want to. Who are paying $2,000 to be able to say that they are better than everybody else around them, you are monetizing ego to such a destructive level.
Yeah,
like it is an ego narcissism. It's ego and narcissist space. That's the whole thing. If you say being an alpha implies that you're better than everyone around you, which is why when people say I'm an alpha, you laugh. Because only an extremely insecure person
defines themselves.
By the way,
alpha.
just so you guys know, I'm better than all of you.
Well, alpha is kind of like cool. If you say I am cool, you inherently are not cool. The second you self-proclaim your coolness, you have actually forfeited your coolness.
Unless you find a somewhat ironic way like Donald Trump to do it. Like, I'm the best businessman you've ever seen in your entire life. And you're going to go, this guy's funny. He's doing it with a hint of charm and irony, which makes
and
you
a comb over. And a big fat comb over.
Yes,
okay.
And you're 70. Yeah.
I think I can wrap this up by saying, if I understand you correctly, Kwaku, you're saying that movements that teach entitlement instead of authentic self-powerment are ones that you view as predatory, especially if monetized. So in the same way that feminism went from being basic human rights, voting rights, and female empowerment in that first wave, and quickly became anti-man, and women are entitled to all of this treatment. They get both the door open for them and the date paid for, but also equal pay. Once they started teaching entitlement and man hate in a monetized fashion, that's when you took issue with it, and you fear the same things happening to the manosphere.
You're almost there.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to make clear, what I'm speaking about here is not Jeremiah the Bull Evans, but Manosphere at large, and what I see, the Andrew Tate effect of. And by the way, I actually think Andrew Tate
is batting 990.
Well,
no.
Well, first, when you look at his rants on TikTok and stuff in these videos, you'll notice, if you've ever done any kind of theater or comedy, you'll notice he knows how to use a punchline. Mm-hmm. He knows when to pause. He's a performer.
Yep.
Okay.
This
not
man
a salesman.
Is a performer. Yeah. And there's a difference. Whereas Jeremiah the Bull Evans is not a performer. He's a salesman.
Yes.
And this is where it becomes, and that is the glaring difference. These guys are trying to be Andrew Tate, but Andrew Tate isn't that. He's acting, and he's funny. And you can't help that video of him saying, "Who would you rather sleep with?"
Oh my gosh.
Have you seen this?
No.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know if we can even play it.
Yeah.
It says Megan Fox with or Hulk Hogan with
What?
He was like, "Who would you rather sleep with?" He goes, "Oh, it's gay if I sleep with Megan Fox with He goes, I counter, it's gay to sleep with Hulk Hogan with
I just reject the entire premise.
But
of
it was
question.
the most ridiculous thing. It exploded on Twitter, and everyone's like, "How can you not laugh at this? Like, this guy is clearly funny." So that's the difference. But what scares me is what you have with feminism is you had all these men coming forward finally and sharing the stories. Men in their 40s and 50s who feel like their life is over, who built businesses, got married, their wife cheated on them, and they took half of what they had, and they can barely see their kids anymore, and they're now living in this shell of who they used to be, all because of the cruelty of their partner. And it wasn't one or two guys. There are thousands of videos of men talking about this. And
go Google right now, "I have no friends," and look what Ratty the Batty, who is the UFC fighter, the Scottish UFC fighter whose friend unfortunately self-terminated. He says, "Man, reach out if you don't have a friend." Come on, what's his name?
I know what you're talking. I don't know the guy's name, but it's a big issue, right?
Yeah.
So that was an actual thing that I saw that was horrific. It's heartbreaking. It's terrifying as a guy too, because you're like, "Oh, is this going to be my future?"
Yeah.
So the female reaction was, well, the feminist reaction was, "So who cares?" Basically, right?
Yeah.
When the
what are
stats
men useful for? Nothing.
Yeah.
And do you know what it is? This is a thing where it is prioritizing the love of money and the love of self over the love of your fellow man.
It's mammon worship.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all Babylonian stuff,
Yeah.
right?
And it's just more proof that humanity, we swing super this way, and we think, okay, if we can just stop this pendulum from swinging and come back to the middle right where Christ is. Oh, no, we went past Christ. Okay, no. Okay, no, we're coming back. Shoot, they jumped the shark again. You know what I'm saying? It's proof of the pride cycle.
Now, the alpha male reaction to that has been, look at what they do to men. It's terrible, and you lose in these unfair custody battles. They take half of what you have. Yeah, it's horrible. They don't think we're even fully human in the way they treat us. Yeah, and we need to bring our power back. Yeah, that's why you should be able to cheat on your wife, and if she complains about it, you leave her. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
wow. You really...
They identify the problem and then provide the exact wrong
I will
solution.
match you the same level of darkness, but on the other side.
That is my exact criticism.
Yes.
When I said that, the where I take issue with the manosphere is nothing about the empowerment. It's all about the absolute sheer disregard for the law of chastity and traditional values in male and female partnerships.
Yeah,
So-
and I feel like the root of it is a loss of respect for other human beings as important.
yeah.
No one is as important as you, right?
Yeah.
It's this
Although I do have to say,
very
I think
narcissistic.
I think this is the only place where being a Mormon man is a little bit difficult, and the reason why feminism was so able to wreak havoc in the Mormon community is because I think there is a tendency by a lot of these ladies to let themselves go because they know that if a good Mormon man is
What are you
married to
talking
him,
about?
let me finish.
Okay.
A good Mormon man is married to him that they can't leave him, that he's kind of a little bit trapped, whereas secular women, they're afraid that the husband will just cheat on them because it's a lot more common. And so there's a little bit more of a fear, like they're going to stay in the gym and they're still going to go tanning and eat really well, because in secular society, you know, it's like if you can't keep your man interested, he might leave you or else he might cheat on you. And that's kind of a shameful thing. And we don't really have that because men are so faithful in the Mormon church generally compared to their secular counterparts.
I have no
So
clue.
there's a tendency-
What are you talking about? Yeah, Cardin.
Oh, come on. You know,
No,
all the angry cat lady
have you-
feminists that you get in the back row in
Look,
Relief Society, they're always barking about this and that.
What do you think Utah is like?
I'm very
Oh,
confused.
it ain't just Utah, brother.
Okay, so
Do you not see this? Like,
no, what I see in
Okay.
Utah is a bunch of tech bro entrepreneurs cheating on their wives and Draper in an Alpine. That's what I see, and they're
Okay,
all
well,
Mormon.
you yourself were just saying that you saw a man beaten down into the shell of a man who he was, and then generally you look at the wife, and that's what it's like.
Wait, no, but you made the connection about her weight. I didn't look. Cardin will Cardin. We all have a thing. I had a really important point I wanted to make. It's this. So when you want to look at this whole Manosphere perspective from a gospel perspective, be great or be nothing is actually a wonderful tagline that Jeremiah the Bull Evans came up with because it encapsulates the message. If you are not successful, you are nothing, which is caste system ideology.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite of what Jesus Christ is teaching. But ironically, it's also what material feminism teaches. If your husband isn't making that much, then he's nothing. You should leave him.
Or you're not a CEO. You're not good enough. Right?
It is the exact same thing.
You're
You're
not a
just a
feminist if
mom.
you're not a boss bee. Yeah, and being a traditional housewife, that's below
Perhaps
you.
measuring people's worth by this material success that's all temporary is never going to work. No matter if you put lipstick on it or a Spartan helmet, it's all the same nonsense. And if we want to find true fulfillment, we have to find the divinity within given to us by God the Father. That's the only thing. It doesn't matter how much cool music you got of your Tesla driving through the desert or the salt flats with your Spartan sword and lifting at the gym like, oh, I'm an alpha. It's all fake. It's not real.
Okay.
It's all flair.
All right,
Now, I have
take us home, Brad.
just the most important question
Yes.
has been inspired by this episode for me.
What?
It is
What color is your Bugatti?
technically, it's very close to that. It is, what animal should we all brand ourselves as?
Oh, good point.
What's Cardin?
I know what Kwaku is.
Yeah.
He's the meerkat or the lemur.
That was the thing that came to mind for me too.
Meerkat?
Yeah, I don't know why. Today you're giving meerkat vibes. Not normally.
Okay, look, let's see what.
meerkat.
Do you know what a lemur is, Kwaku?
A lemur?
Yeah.
L-E-M-U-R.
I know what it is. I don't know
Like
what it is.
in the show
Come on,
Madagascar.
you talk about Lemuria all the time.
oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, the lemurs. I couldn't remember what they looked like. I knew what they were.
Okay, so here's a
You think
lemur.
I look like a lemur?
Yeah, well, you just got kind of like a cool vibe of lemur energy.
What even
You know what
is
I'm
that?
saying?
Is that a rodent?
That's a ringtail lemur. It's a primate.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know,
Wow.
It's
Like a squirrel.
It's a squirrely
raccoon
primate.
mix.
The squirreliest
yeah,
of the
yeah.
primates.
So I think it would be Kwaku.
Dude, that'd
the
be badass
lemur.
to walk around with a lemur on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's an exotic animal that's powerful, but it's still kind of wiry. So, like, I mean, I eat breakfasts as big as you, but you're still very, like, you're strong and you're tough. Like, you're not a guy that has big guns. You just have lizards with really sharp teeth. And, you know,
Okay.
you're into Lemuria. You're into Lemuria and Atlantis and all that
Oh,
stuff.
that might be where the lemur vibe is coming from.
Yeah, so I'm saying you should literally be a lemur. You know?
Interesting. A
And then
lemur.
And then
Brad,
I was going to say Cardin. What? Because I feel the bull is already taken.
by the
but
way,
you're
I
like,
don't think it's a primate. I think it's a marsupial. I think it's actually related to the kangaroo and the koala.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm not mistaken, because I think they have like joeys that stay in
It'd
the
be
pouch
really
and
cool
stuff.
to have just a lemur on my shoulder at all.
Yes, it
That'd
would.
be so cool.
Yeah, totally. Okay, and then what would you be, Brad? Kwaku, what would Brad be?
When my hair was long,
I
it'd
think
be different.
I think he would be a diplomatic warrior priest. I think he would take up like a crusader. I think Brad the Crusader.
But it's spirit animal.
yeah,
What are you talking
it's the
about?
animal.
Crap, I messed that one up.
My animal is a human. Brad, the human.
Actually, I don't. No.
What?
You need to be a very well-rounded animal that's kind of just good at lots of different things. You're a diplomat. You're also strong. You're not.
I got it. I got to figure out the name of it. One sec here.
A tapir? I don't think that's very kind.
A tapir?
No, I'm just totally kidding.
That's the animal that comes to mind for diplomatic.
I'm totally kidding.
You have been on X-Mormon subreddit too much.
Yeah, no, I took a picture of the tapir at the LA Zoo.
Oh, yeah?
Is it a tapir?
I've heard it both ways.
Okay, yeah, no, I took a picture of the tapir at the LA Zoo. I might throw this one in there, but I was totally like, yeah, there it is right now. Book of Mormon spirit animal biznatches. You know. So what are you suggesting, Kwaku? I'm sorry I interrupted you here.
I think you are a Huron wolf dog. A Hyeran wolf dog.
A Hyeran? I am looking that one
Hierran wolf dog.
That is wildly specific.
Wolf dog. Okay, let me see. Oh, interesting. You think that's what he is, huh? Okay, so here's that Hyeran wolf
They're the
dog.
friendliest of the wolves.
Okay.
You just have to make them mad before they bite.
Okay, I'm going to pull this up. So
They're
our
not
audience
like
can
the
see.
giant like Twilight wolves.
Okay.
But they're technically a wolf.
Oh, fascinating.
Oh, and look at this. It says, like a good shepherd dog, Huron wolf dogs are loyal and affectionate to their owners. In addition, without being aggressive, they're suspicious of, and that's good. You're loyal. You're not overly aggressive.
And your color scheme is the same.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
You're a Hyeran wolf dog.
Oh, that's fun.
It's called the Perro Lobo Herreño. That's the Huron wolf dog. Okay,
Oh,
that's
sweet.
cool.
Now,
I'm a Taurus, but the bull is already taken.
exactly. So I was tempted to say something like Clydesdale because they're
Okay.
just huge. And they also pull all the baggage of the boomers as they go.
I was thinking about something else. I appreciate the Clydesdale reference, and I understand it. This is kind of unflattering, but this did come to mind as well. I love things that are unglamorous, okay, but are tried, true, tested, and just unbreakable, indestructible, dependable.
I got Cardins.
A mule.
No.
Dude, there are mules the size of Clydesdales, bigger. They require less water. They go harder and farther. One of the most beautiful horses I ever saw wasn't a horse. It was actually a mule. And like they can carry just an unimaginable amount of weight. They're strong. They go farther than horses do because they don't get tired like a mule. I'll be the mule. What?
You're a sun bear.
A sun bear.
Yeah, I can see
Google it right now.
What
you are
is
a
a
sun
sun
bear.
bear?
100%.
Okay, this is either going to be really cool or really embarrassing. But wow, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's freaking accurate.
Look at those claws, bro.
Yeah, dude, they have huge claws.
And what is that tongue action that's going on? Look at that.
Here's the deal, dude. They break into beehives all the time,
Really?
which you are familiar with. And like they deal with all of these pests that are just buzzing around and bugging them. They use their huge claws to break into beehives.
Is this what inspired Baloo the bear? Because it's the...
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Baloo the bear was an African sun bear. Because not African, sorry, but I remember seeing that ringlet.
They're
underneath them.
also genuinely, like, when they're not hunting, they're known to just kind of be like screwing around and like not very serious animals.
Look at that tongue, though. Is that how they get the bees and the ants and stuff?
Yeah, bro.
Whoa. Oh, there's the lemur back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Cardin's a sun bear.
Yeah. And they're South American, like Argentina, where you served. Yeah.
Oh, shut up. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, let us know where we go wrong. Let us know if you think we chose it correct. Should Kwaku be the sun bear and Brad be the lemur? I don't know. Tell us what you think. So
I really was hoping I'd be a fox.
I can see some kind of
fox.
foxiness. I think the way you're wearing your hat right now is
Makes
what
it
gave the
kinda like
meerkat vibes. Like the, yeah.
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 But
Also,
yeah.
how it's hard to herd you. It's kind of like herding cats, getting you in the studio on time, and
Okay.
get all the chicks blowing up your phone. Like, oh yeah, I'll call you back. It's kind of like,
But I mean, inherently, you have to be I feel like part of the lemur comes from you being such a party animal And so like
Yeah.
they travel in like groups. They have like gangs
Yeah.
of people together. So like
I got to tell you,
it's got to be some kind of party animal, you know?
Yeah,
Okay,
what
yeah.
With your current vibe.
what would you rather show off to your friends, bro? Would you rather show off your buddy that looks like that or your buddy that looks like that? That's just going to scare
That's
away
kind of a
everybody.
movie right there. A lemur,
You
a
know?
sun bear, and a Iberian wolf
Well,
dog.
I think in Madagascar, one of them was a lemur, right?
King Julian.
Yeah.
Yeah, King
Yeah.
Julian. I like to move it.
That movie,
I
wow.
like to move it. Okay, cool. I already closed this out once, but we'll do it again. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know where we go wrong, and tell us if you think we nailed that one on the head. This is Midnight Strike Through Mormons. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. Hey guys, this is Cardin Ellis. I'm the creator of Midnight Mormons. Thank you so much for watching this video. We know in an attention economy, you could be spending your time elsewhere, but you chose to spend it here with us. For that, we are grateful. Before you go to the next video, please make sure that you hit the like button. It tells the algorithms that you like our content and it will hopefully recommend more content in the future. Also, if you can, subscribe to our channel. It's a great way to be alerted of more content we make. And if you press that bell icon next to the subscribe button, you'll be alerted on every video we make. We put a lot of hard work into these and we want you to see all of our videos, so please subscribe. Also, if you would like to contribute, if you're feeling generous, please consider a contribution to the channel through Venmo. We also have contributions that you can give us through PayPal. There will be links in the description of this video to both of those platforms. If you're a giving person that prefers working through Amazon, we also have an Amazon wish list. Much of the equipment that you see in our studio was purchased through Amazon, and we're grateful if you could contribute that way. Also, somewhere around like here, I'd say, and somewhere around like right here is going to be a recommendation for more of our content that you might like. So please click on another video and we'll see you there. Either way, we're glad to have you here. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is Midnight Strike Through Mormons. We will see you in the next video.